Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 2 in the series between Goswer user and the Muslim. Game 2 taking place here on Achillean Wastes. And Game 1, what an interesting matchup that was, as we have Goswer user now spawning as the red Zerg on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, the Muslim spawning as the blue Terran on the bottom right. Now, one thing that Dustin Browder did mention, decals are now much more prevalent, at least making the game visually more appealing and making those rewards more worth it. As you can see the little Zerg icons there, and this should all in all be a very entertaining game. Game 1, proxy barracks into Reapers, only to get countered by a proxy hatchery and roaches. The Muslim losing Game 1. We'll see if the Muslim will be able to get back here in Game 2. Now, Goswer user looks as though he should be going for either a 14 spawning pool or a 14 hatch. Not quite sure what his strategy is as of yet. We did see, I believe, an earlier spawning pool in Game 1, so he may try to go for that same strategy once more. Generally, Zerg players don't deviate from their strategies all too much, but then again, let's take a look at it, and Goswer user is not going to deviate, just scouting with this drone now. So very important for Goswer user to actually scout out with the drone in the previous game and notice that there was gas already down and that the barracks was missing. From that point, he automatically knew his opponent was obviously going Reapers, and he took a very defined path in order to counter. He got gas, didn't get metabolic boost, got roaches, and then defended his main before moving out again. We are going to see a different strategy this time around, as it appears to be, I believe, a 15 command center followed by a 15 barracks. And with a 15 command center, 15 barracks coming in from the Muslim should have a very strong economy. Goswer user wastes absolutely no time setting up a hatchery of his own, wanting to make sure he does not fall behind in the macroeconomic game. Now, let's see here. Barracks command center being placed down. We do in fact have this command center here, 15 over 24. One more SCV, and that will be optimal saturation per SCV. And then at that point, we should probably be taking the additional refineries. Upgrade to an orbital command should be coming in as well. There you have it, and you can see that the Muslim is sitting on a fair amount of minerals, as he is currently supply blocked. This will quickly be spent, as he is going to be upgrading to another orbital command here. We are seeing that 19 over 30 now, and we should perhaps be seeing more barracks placed down. No, a third command center. The Muslim really going for the strong economic game, and was it spotted out? No, it was not. And that is important to note. The Muslim sitting at 21 over 30, he is going to have a crazy heavy saturation of SCVs. And he's probably banking on the fact that Goswer user will himself try to set up a third base. Normally, if a Terran player tries to go quick 2 bases, Zerg players are quick to respond with a quick third base of their own. We'll see if Goswer user will go that route, or if he will perhaps try and go for a 2-base roach push. Now, orbital command is down. SCVs rallied strangely off over here. Not quite sure why. The Muslim should be setting up and trying to build some more heavy saturation here at the natural. We can see the barracks is now getting repositioned, and perhaps a supply depot will be added here as well in order to finish off that wall off. Here we have additional barracks, additional factory being placed down, and that all-important additional orbital command. So we are sitting at, what is this? We are currently sitting at 3 orbital commands on 2 bases. Factory is about to be completed. We're going to see a liftoff and land, most likely to go into some Hellions for some harassment. And this is also, the harassment will also be utilized in order to scout out Goswer user. The Muslim has pretty much been playing in the dark right now. He knows what Goswer user could be doing, but without any definitive knowledge about what his opponent is doing, he can't really build the proper counters. Those Hellions and that fast movement speed will rectify that problem, as we are seeing SCVs being trained triply and 2 more barracks being placed down in addition to a tech lab. This does look like a transition. Wow, very fast moving overlords already, as we are now at mutating here. Wait a second, is the ventral sacs or the pneumatized carapace morph into layer? This is a hatchery morphing into layer. The pneumatized carapace no longer need a tier 2. If that is the case, that is going to be some very, very fast movement speed. And yes, that is the case. You can see the pneumatized carapace was researched before an overseer could have been trained. And that is huge. Overlords now moving even more quickly across the map here. Burrow also ready. And that means the overlords are going to be able to get in position and scout out any drops. 1-1 upgrades coming through on that infantry. We are going to be in a very heavy marine composition as we are going into more Hellions. The starport will be added as well, adding or double training of medevacs here. You can see there are Hellions all across the map. They do spot the overlords. Overlords are so well placed by Goswer user that no units will be able to slip out. The only real problem is that the Muslim has the economic advantage. Actually, he should have the economic advantage. He needs to get up more gas as well. Let's see, gas in the main, gas at the natural. Now, yes, he does have the economic advantage, as he will be able to utilize those mules. Hellions now on the move, but we are going to get countered by swarm hosts, and swarm hosts are a definite problem. Hellions now on the move. Where they be going next? Marines trying to shoot down overlords. Not going to work. Too much open space here, as the swarm hosts now making a move out across the map. Those swarm hosts do move relatively quickly. As the swarm hosts are backing away, you can see that they have 160 hit points. They are going to quickly burrow. And oh, what is this? All of those locusts now on the move. Locusts move a little bit slower than swarm hosts. As you can see, the timed attack there. Those locusts now trying to make a move around the corner. Where are these swarm hosts going to be traveling to, as the Zerglings now trying to push in, and Goswer user may just be able to knock on this front door and simply destroy here in just a second. There is all of those locusts. The locusts are essentially free units. 12 damage of double the effectiveness of Marines at this point. And we are going to see how effective these units are indeed. There is the scanner sweep. There goes one swarm host. Overseer now in the air. Not quite sure what it plans to do, as the Marauders and the Marines are trying to come in for a counter. Scanner sweep does seem to be enough, as the Hellbats are fighting their way through. But the Banelings, oh, able to melt off many of the Hellbats as well. All right, are we going to see another scanner sweep? Yes, we are. The Banelings need to find their target. Do find a couple. And the Muslim looks like he will, in fact, handle all of these swarm hosts with little to no effort. Stim pack and 1-1 upgrades have been completed. We are going into the pathogen glands for infestors. A beautiful transition away from swarm hosts, as it doesn't add any additional tech buildings. Swarm hosts, all they need is that infestation pit. The infestor and swarm hosts sharing that same tech path, allowing Zerg a little bit more options, as we now have Marines playing target practice with a bunch of overlords in the sky. Zerglings now trying to come in for a counterattack. This is not looking good for Goswer user. Goswer user only running up on 2 bases, did not deal the necessary damage, and with the Muslim sitting on a very decent sized army, as long as he's able to hold off the next attack, he should be fine. There goes another overlord. 1-1 upgrades are 1-1 upgrades with on the way to 2-2, and here you have it. The Marines, with the Marines now 190 seconds. I always thought it was 180, as the medevacs quickly picking up all of those units, and there's the afterburners in order to get out of there, get the heck out of that fight. And the medevac afterburners is probably going to be one of those things that will be nerfed, perhaps increase the cooldown at least, as it's only a 20-second cooldown for 8-second movement speed burst. That almost feels like the units are always moving at a very, very high speed. Here you have more Marines and Marauders being dropped straight up out of the sky and landing on top of all of those Zerglings there. hatchery was not, or I believe that hatchery was canceled and then restarted once more. Gosu user sitting at 0-0 upgrades, while the Muslim will soon be at 2-2. That is not good at all. I guess it is 190. Okay, it's always been 190, not 180. Here we have it. Rocks will get taken down. A new hatchery will be placed down as well. Gosu user needs to take down this rock tower once more. And once this rock tower is gone, we'll have a little bit more protection at his third. Marines, Hellbats now on the move once more. Hellbats dealing 18 damage per attack, 9 damage per second, with splash damage involved as well. A Hellbat is essentially a lower armored splash damage, shorter range roach, if you had to consider all things considered. Here you go, a Hellbat dealing a good amount of damage there, as the Hellbat is torching a whole bunch of Zerglings. Zerglings are trying to surround here, and there is the GG from Gosu user. And this series is all tied up at 1 game apiece. Unfortunately, game 3 was corrupted, and the replay that I was able to download doesn't have anything on it to show. So I do not know the victor of this game. I do believe it's Gosu user, but I will just have to wait and see if I can get the replay up later. I will be giving up another bonus game, though. Heart of the Swarm, Terran versus Zerg. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.